I'm Wildman Wes, and welcome to another edition of Planet Powerbomb. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about last night's pay-per-view of Elimination Chamber. It took place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. We're just going to cut right to the chase. It was an okay pay-per-view. Had some decent matches that probably could have been better, but then again they could have been a lot worse. But let's get to it. Our first match was the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber, and the winner would go on to WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. The contestants involved were Sonya Deville, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Mickie James, Alexa Bliss, and Mandy Rose. Well, the first to start off was Sonya Deville and Bayley, and then as the match progressed, Mandy Rose came in at number 3, Sasha Banks came in number 4, Mickie James came in at number 5, and Alexa Bliss finished off the entries. Seemed a little short for me personally. I mean, for the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber, you think it might go a little bit longer. However, within the first 5 people coming in, Mandy Rose was the first person to be eliminated by Sasha Banks, and then after that, it would consist of Sonya Deville being eliminated, followed by Mickie James, and then Bayley, and then Sasha Banks got eliminated by Alexa Bliss at the end, retaining her title and going on to WrestleMania. Now, it just seemed like a lot of people were getting eliminated very quickly, and there was a lot of fast-paced moments within the match. Each contestant had a lot of good strengths. Sasha Banks was laying down on the side of the ring in the Elimination Chamber for quite a while. So one of those little possum moments. I mean, it reminded me very much like the Royal Rumble, where a lot of people are just laying around for no good reason, and then basically capitalizing or being an opportunist, as we used to know Edge being, back in the day. All in all, the match was okay for what it was worth. I'm going to go ahead and just give this one a B+. I'm going to be fair, being the first one ever. It's just, I feel that it should have went a little bit longer, and people were getting eliminated way too quickly. Going on to the second match was for the Raw Tag Team Championships between Titus Worldwide, consisting of Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews, versus The Bar, consisting of Sheamus and Cesaro. Now, this one, it was decent for what it was. When you got, 4 big guys running around, Cesaro not being a very big guy, but as strong as he is, they don't call him the Swiss Superman for nothing. He started off where they basically were bum rushing each other. Cesaro apparently had a right leg injury, but he held his own for the most part. They kept it interesting, mostly outside of the ring, and I do like those moments in particular because it can be fun inside the ring, but at the same time, when you have that outside, situations where anything can happen, whether somebody doing an aerial assault off from the ring out to the, outside and whatnot, I liked that a lot. And at the end, the Bar did a double team on Apollo Crews, retaining their Raw Tag Team Championships. Like I said, decent match for what it was. Sheamus did have a little bit of a botched moment when he was going up on the top rope. But all in all, I would just, for the length of what this match was, because we're trying to keep everything as short and sweet as possible for the main event, I'm going to go ahead and give this one a solid B. Next up on the card was the number 1 contender spot for the Raw Women's Championship, or the WrestleMania Championship moment between Asuka and Nia Jax. This one, I feel, was the best match of the night. Basically, it was a David and Goliath match. They were going at it. Nia Jax, obviously, due to her size, basically, dwarfed Asuka in the whole match. She was dragging her around like a rag doll. However, Asuka made it very entertaining by not giving up and just giving a huge assault on Nia Jax. There was a lot of back and forth action with some of the reversals. In the end, Nia Jax was trying to go for a powerbomb, and Asuka reversed with a rollover pin, and is now going to be, once again, number 1 contender for a Women's Championship match at WrestleMania. I'm going to go ahead, because of how good it was. It wasn't too long, but it wasn't too short. I'm going to give it an A+. A+ match on both on both of their parts, because in this situation, Nia Jax, yes, she deserves to actually have a WrestleMania main event moment at some point. Maybe not now, but definitely later on, if not near SummerSlam, I think. But definitely because of Asuka winning the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match, I think it's only fitting that she has her WrestleMania moments, whether or not her streak will still continue to take place. So the next match on the card was between Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. I'm going to go ahead and call this one the Battle of the Nut Jobs, because both their respective characters right now are way off the charts. I mean, obviously, if anybody had seen Broken Matt Hardy in his Impact time, and with Bray Wyatt, with the Wyatt family and everything going on with this kind of whole deliverance aspect, or even, I like their characters. I just feel that with Bray Wyatt having such a push back in the day a couple of years ago, having WrestleMania moments against John Cena and The Undertaker, I feel like they've really mid-carded him lately. And Matt Hardy definitely has a lot of potential to get up to a main event position in some pay-per-view at some point. However, right now, I feel like it's necessary to keep him where he is right now. However, in this match, there was a lot of standstills, a lot of the psychological, mumbo-jumbo that we always like to watch. I mean, in the 80s and the 90s, definitely that type of psychological aspects where you're standing still and trying to psych out your opponents, it was more fitting. I mean, in the ideas of like Jake the Snake Roberts, it worked. However, in this one, it just seemed like it fell too flat. The one thing that did save it was there was a lot of methodical type wrestling maneuvers, like headlocks and sleeper holds, which definitely helped, kind of showcase the way how they were trying to get into each other's heads. No pun intended with the headlocks, but it is what it is. In the end, Bray Wyatt tried to go for Sister Abigail. Then it got reversed with Matt Hardy's Twist of Fate. Like I said, because of the standstills and whatnot, and just because of how kind of it drug on a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and be fair. I will give this one a C+. However, I would really like to see Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, either which one or at the same time, get a push later on. I feel that this match probably should have waited until WrestleMania, because they definitely have had a feud going on recently within the last couple pay-per-views and Monday Night Raws, but I feel that they should have held off a little bit more. Next up, we have the moment that the whole WWE Universe was waiting for. The contract signing of Rowdy Ronda Rousey. It starts off with Kurt Angle and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon all coming out to the ring, showcasing what Ronda Rousey did in her youth, going up into the UFC, and up until that night to sign the contract. Now, Ronda came into a very emotional response from the crowd, and she showed a little bit of her emotions, being, floored at the fact that she has a lot of fan base coming into the WWE. Now, it was kind of awkward but funny because Triple H and Stephanie kind of had that little devious look in their eyes, and as she was about to sign the contract, Kurt Angle starts, talking to Triple H, offside in the ring, and Ronda Rousey kind of calls him out on it. And basically, Kurt Angle becomes a snitch and starts talking about how Triple H has said, oh, it's been 3 years in the making and we finally own and yeah, Triple H cuts him off, which was kind of funny. The look on Stephanie's face was priceless. She literally had that jaw drop moment. It was very funny. But Triple H tries to take Kurt Angle out of the ring to try to calm down the situation, and Kurt fires back with another snitch moment of saying that Stephanie felt that Ronda Rousey was a has-been and that her career is basically over, and Triple H tries to come back and try to calm down Ronda Rousey from beating up Stephanie, and wherein which Ronda Rousey grabs Triple H and slams him through the table the contract was sitting on. Straight up sent him to Dudleyville. I thought it was funny. However, the whole situation after that, then Stephanie gives her the $1 billion slap. And so, obviously, we can tell that there's going to be a feud between Ronda and Stephanie, depending on whether it's a singles match, or maybe we could even see a tag team match between Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus The Authority. Altogether, I think this segment, funny, but they could have done it a little bit better, but they could have done it a lot worse. I'm going to be fair and give it a solid B, especially due to the fact that Ronda slammed Triple H to the table. I found that very amusing. It's just the reason why I'm giving it a little bit of a lower grade is that Kurt Angle kind of screwed up, and he meant to say that Ronda Rousey came in at WrestleMania 31, but accidentally said 21. So definitely kind of one of those Hulk Hogan moments. Yeah, now I just flubbed, so whoops. Anyways, yeah, I'm just going to give that one a solid B. Now we move on to the main event of the night, the men's Elimination Chamber, consisting of Seth Rollins, John Cena, Elias, Braun Strowman, I had to make sure my notes were correct on that one, The Miz, Finn Balor, and Roman Reigns. Well, it starts off with Elias being in the middle of the ring with the Elimination Chamber, singing a song, as he always does. And he decided he was going to build up a little more heat with Vegas and saying a lot of bad things about every single competitor that he was going up against that night. So the match starts off with Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and The Miz going at it. And then John Cena comes in, followed by Roman Reigns, and Braun Strowman, and then Elias. This match very, very similar to the Matt Hardy-Bray Wyatt match. There was a lot of talking going on, especially between John Cena and Seth Rollins. A lot of slow moments. The one thing that bothered me about this match with the women's match was that the women's match seemed to go a little bit shorter and people were getting eliminated a lot quicker. This one, nobody got eliminated pretty much up until Elias came into the match. The first person to be eliminated was The Miz by Braun Strowman, and pretty much during the whole match, Braun Strowman eliminated everybody. And there should have been a moment where Finn Balor was going for the coup de grace against Roman Reigns, and unfortunately Braun Strowman decided to pin him with a power slam, which pretty much for me kind of predicted the fact that Roman Reigns was going to win. And I know there was a lot of people on social media, whether they were pro-Roman or, against Roman. Yeah, the internet's been buzzing, let's put it that way. So, in the end, Braun Strowman has his one-on-one with Roman Reigns, back and forth, lots of reversals, until Braun Strowman finally gets speared by Roman Reigns after a barrage of spears and Superman punches. Roman Reigns is going to WrestleMania to face Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania 34. Now, I think, and the thing is, it's not that I don't like Roman Reigns, it's just, I really, why would you give Braun Strowman such a push in the last couple pay-per-views, and, during Raw, when, especially due to the fact that he eliminated 5 people out of the 7, and Roman Reigns just out of nowhere after a sleeper moment, much like Sasha Banks outside of the ring, beats Braun Strowman. I mean, I kind of thumbed my nose at it. A lot of people online have farted on it. So I understand. I mean, because honestly, I would have loved to have seen Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, because it's the Beast, versus the Hands. I mean, seriously. I mean, we could see, I mean, who wouldn't want to see the ring at WrestleMania implode? Whether or not a superplex or a super bomb off the top rope with these two big guys. That has never been seen, and I would love to see it. I mean, if you agree with me on that, please leave a comment in the section below, because, there are some people that, are happy about the end of this match, and some people aren't. But it is what it is. However, due to the predictability and a lot of the standstills, I was hoping more out of this. But the predictability really bothered me a lot, and I'm just going to, hate it if you will. I'm going to go ahead and give this match a solid C, because we have seen a lot of Elimination Chamber matches in the past, and a lot of them before have wowed us compared to what we saw last night. So overall, with all the matches, being talked about, and as well as the Ronda Rousey contract signing, this pay-per-view for me is going to get an overall B- rating. It had its good moments. However, it did have a lot of moments where, it just, I could have took it or left it, I mean, honestly. But I will say the match between Asuka and Nia Jax really stole the show, apart from Ronda Rousey's contract signing. It was a little watered down. It did remind me a little bit of kind of an Austin McMahon-esque type situation where Stephanie and Triple H were basically telling Ronda, oh, you have all, you say that you don't want all these, perks and everything. You want to be treated like everybody else. And it was kind of that don't cross the boss moment. And pretty much Ronda Rousey has crossed the bosses. And I guarantee it's going to be very similar to a Stone Cold Steve Austin type angle. Fun, but at the same time, I wish that they might have been able to do something a little bit different. Of course, with Kurt Angle, flubbing a little bit, yeah, that definitely kind of watered down the situation. Why Asuka and Nia Jax's match definitely was the highlight of the pay-per-view. Other than that, I'm just going to wrap this up. We hope you enjoyed this segment. Be sure, if there's anything that you agree with on this segment or disagree with, let me know what you think about the pay-per-view. I love knowing what people have to say about it. Of course, if there is some people being haters and stuff like that and being salty, keep it very constructive criticism-wise. We don't need any trolls. I already had to deal with that enough for the last 24 hours almost, seeing everything on social media. So if there's anything that you would like to see at the next pay-per-view, whether it's Fastlane for SmackDown or WrestleMania 34, leave your comments in the section below, and hopefully, maybe WWE will pick up on these comments and maybe they'll get some ideas. Other than that, we hope you like this video. Be sure you share it with your friends and family and everybody else worldwide. Don't forget, push that red button and ring that bell for some more instant notifications on upcoming segments on Dragonfire Entertainment. Until then, I'm Wildman Wes, and I'll see you next time.